Hello everyone, Spaced Oyster here, and welcome back to Spec Ops The Line. Yeah, it's, been a little...
Coast is clear, Walker.
Then gear up. We're moving out.
Where to now?
Before the storms hit, Conrad needed a lookout. Somewhere he could see Dubai from miles around. There. Tallest tower in Dubai. That's where to.
The Burj Khalifa, or at least the building that it's based on. Anyway, it's been crazy, so I haven't been able to record in a while.
We need to talk about what happened back there.
We got Conrad's attention. What's there to talk about?
Never seen you like this before.
I'm fine, Adams. We can't walk away from what we've seen here.
An intel item here.
We're not leaving Dubai until the survivors can be safely evacuated.
On a tip, we went to check the foreign relief stations in the middle of the city. Found bodies. Nothing new, except these had been shot. Burned. Along with the bodies, passports. Only one was readable. Zoe Strasberg, age 29. German aid worker. They say a paranoid is just someone with all the facts. Well, I don't have all the facts, but I'm officially fucking scared. I don't want to believe city officials are executing foreign aid workers. Or what that might mean for the evacuation. But the facts, man, you can't ignore the facts. I need to find the colonel. Fast, without raising suspicion. If I can get a message on the wire, maybe something could be done here, but if not, God help Dubai.
I just need you to trust me on this.
I trust you, Walker. I just don't agree with you.
So, in part 8, I think I forgot, or neglected to give people who didn't like this game, or more specifically that part of this game, a bit more credit. Basically, a lot of people don't like the fact that they don't have the option to be a good person playing this game, and...
Firefight. Up ahead.
Damn it! If anyone can hear me, this is Riggs. We've been ambushed by the 33rd. Need some help here ASAP.
Riggs? Man,
Grab that
who told the
RPG!
33rd about this? This is our fault.
Oh, this happens no matter if you save Gould or not. Anyway, I forgot to give them their, the proper analysis to people who just, well, didn't like that part, who want to play good, but since the only way to get a good ending in this game is to just turn it off and stop.
Thanks for the save. Now keep these bastards on us.
And stop playing, you feel a bit cheated. Did I hit the flagpole? I hit the flagpole.
Coming over that hill.
Ugh. Anyway, that is a really valid response or complaint, and I honestly don't know what else to tell you, really. Like, if you're not willing to, or if you feel cheated because of the game calling you, well, basically a bad person for doing the stuff it tells you to do, and that the only way you can be good is to just turn it off, then yeah, you technically did waste your money. Even if you do get it. Like, I don't care if you like the game or not. I just want people to get what they're trying to do. Honestly, Spec Ops reminds me the most of the Milgram experiment. For the uninitiated, the Milgram experiment was a psychological study done to see how willing people are to obey orders. In the Milgram experiment, what they did was they got together a group of volunteers and told them they're going to be asking people questions, and if they got the question wrong, they would electrocute them. Sorry, Adams. What they didn't tell the people doing that experiment is that there actually wasn't another person being electrocuted. It was just pre-recorded messages.
33rd breaking contact. That's the last of them. Get on over here.
Yeah, I'll finish up the Milgram experiment explanation later. For now, let's talk to Riggs.
Captain Walker.
Jeff Riggs, now get in here before a sniper blows your goddamn head off. You're welcome. Excuse me?
Maybe you didn't notice, but we just saved your ass.
Kid's got a mouth, Captain.
Name's Sergeant Lugo, and he's got a point.
Really? So where's Agent Gould?
He didn't make it.
Guess you can't save everyone, huh? I'd say you fellas owe me one.
Typical company bullshit.
You want to hear me out before shooting me down, son?
You got a plan beyond killing everyone you see?
course we got a plan.
Go on, Agent. What's your up?
About 400 yards from here is the city's main water facility. We were en route when we got pinned down. My op, Captain, is to get that damn water and cripple the whole damn 33rd.
You really think water's the key?
We're in the desert, kid. Water's the key to everything. Shit. Frag up! Take cover!
I can't see!
Just stay down!
I got visual. Is it Riggs? No, it's Delta. Where's the old man?
Right here.
You son of a bitch. You're...
Come on.
We got an intel item here.
Down.
Psychoanalysis indicates that John Conrad may be suffering from early-stage post-traumatic stress disorder, resulting from failed operations in the Afghan conflict. In an individual as accomplished as Conrad, PTSD could manifest as a pronounced tendency towards egomania and calcification of moral certitude. More concerning is the way in which Conrad has been lauded as the greatest military leader since Patton. Conrad has internalized these sentiments, and they may now constitute a crucial component of his psyche. It is believed that as Conrad comes under fire for failures in Afghanistan, he will likely go to extreme lengths to internally fortify belief in his reputation. Conrad will begin looking outward to explain his failures while nursing a growing paranoia toward his superiors. It is unknown how Conrad's declining mental faculties will hold up in the face of another public failure.
Down. Here they come, boys.
So, yeah, basically the finding...
I'm gonna get my people to the heat of the open. Cover me! I'm reloading! Give us time to escape.
Basically the findings of the Milgram experiment was that pretty much everyone was willing to electrocute the people as long as an authority figure...
Keep distracted for me. I'm on my way.
As long as a figure of authority was telling them to keep going ahead, it's fine, you have no choice. This game really reminds me
Saving your ass.
of that, since the only things the game's telling you to do is keep moving forward, either through Walker giving commands to his crew or telling them what their options are, or with its objectives. Basically, it just tells you completed one objective and we can move on to the next. In a way, it's very similar to the Milgram experiment in that way. And if they had done more to parallel that experiment, either to highlight that no matter what, you were following orders and you shouldn't feel too bad, then I suppose people would not have felt that gutted. It might have alleviated some of that anger people have towards this game for essentially telling them to do something horrible and then blaming them for doing that something horrible. I actually loved the metaphor Yahtzee used. He basically compared this game to a woman breaking into your house, taking off all her clothes, and squatting over your face, and then when you wake up, she chastises you for looking at her butt. Very hilarious image. And it's not exactly wrong either. The game's telling you to keep doing all these horrible things and then tells you you're a horrible person.
Looks like we're clear.
Well,
Whenever you boys are ready, meet me in the kitchen.
I guess we haven't gotten to that part yet, so spoiler, I guess? I mean, they haven't sugarcoated any of the horrible things we have done so far. But yeah, you're definitely justified in thinking it was horrible of them to do that to you, to make the only good option to turn the game off and call you horrible for not taking that one good option.
Get in.
We don't take orders from you, company man.
Easy, Lugo.
You know the CIA didn't start this war.
Arming the locals probably didn't hurt.
These people were ready to rise up. We just gave them the tools.
Tools to get him killed.
Just keep telling yourself that, kid.
And then, let's see.
Watch it now. We got company.
I guess another way they could have helped to, well, I guess shift the blame is the best word for it, would be to highlight the fact that would have probably been to either have Delta Force parallel more with your psyche rather than than what they do now. Like I mentioned that they formed the Freudian trio. If the idea had been that they're your Freudian trio, then more emphasis could have been placed on Adams and Lugo and their role in the story. But we pretty much get everything from Walker's perspective, and yeah. I guess I could go into more of that later. But suffice it to say, we're basically being compared mostly or exclusively to Walker, who is just to the ego, whereas having Adams and Lugo's input is worthwhile too. Like you probably already noticed, but Adams was constantly trying to get everyone to turn around, head back to...
There it is, boys. The Dubai Aquatic Coliseum. By my estimation, there are nearly 45,000 gallons of H2O inside the water.
I hope there wasn't
This
fish.
is the heart of Dubai.
Now we'll cut out the heart, the beast will die.
Now you're catching on. My men are running interference near the front gate. They'll keep the 33rd turned the other way while we sneak in the back.
You're using the locals as decoys?
They understand the meaning of sacrifice. Door's locked. Shit. They found us.
What's the plan, Riggs?
Hold them off. I'll get the door open. Gotta be fucking kidding me.
Forget him. We got bigger problems.
Yeah, they could have, but like Adams was always trying to get everyone to turn around, and Lugo was the most adamant about not using the white phosphorus back in Chapter 8, and I think he's also the one mostly affected by it, and he also feels responsible for the situation we're currently in because we didn't save Gould like he wanted to. I think.
Walker, I'm picking up a hostile frequency.
Let's hear it.
Report in. What do we got? 4 targets, upper level.
So,
Flash clear. Move.
Here they come.
So if they'd also drawn parallels between the player and the rest of Delta, not just Walker, it might have been really good to alleviate some of that guilt that they're trying to make us feel. But maybe they didn't want us to not feel guilty. These guys are tough. I think that guy on the roof took 2 full clips from that last gun I was using. This is the Zulu squad. They're basically late game enemies only, and they can take a lot. And I mean a lot of those.
Ain't seen those guys before. That's Zulu Squad. The 33rd's final solution to any and all of life's problems. Just keep your eyes open. Once Zulu's out on big stuff.
I guess I've spoiled that a bit.
Enemy down!
Yeah, I didn't actually pick this game up when it came out. Excuse me. I'd heard about it about a month or 2 after its release. I think I remember I watched that Zero Punctuation review the day it came out, but I didn't really internalize anything he said. But I did watch a few other videos talking about how good it was, and then after I went, after I learned some learned some stuff in psychology, I remembered this game and decided, oh hey, this is pretty similar to that. Why not give it a shot? And then that was my first playthrough, and I really liked it. Well, or I don't know. Is like the right word for a game that makes you feel
garage
good?
bottom of the stairs. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's a lot of blood.
What you waiting for? Get moving.
I hate this upcoming part.
Look, I ain't here to hold your hand.
And I don't know if the cuts are obvious, but I did have to make a few cuts.
What is it? We're not alone. We've been made!
I did have to make a few cuts because I died quite a bit, and it did not flow naturally for
Keep him
Ah.
off me for a sec!
Like, I think I had one death in that room with the heavy. After we got that psych evaluation of Conrad, and it starts you back there with the cutscene before that. Not easy to edit around, or rather, it wasn't easy to just keep the death in and then go from there. So I figured I'd just have them out since they don't flow very well and they were just pad.
Enemy down!
Oh, speaking of that psych evaluation, no. Well, yeah, Walker kind of sounds a bit like Conrad. Yeah, I hate Adams in this part. He loves to stand in front of the cover and get shot by the turret. You're supposed to be able to shoot out sand from the vents, so I tried to do that here, or going to try to do that here, but it doesn't really work out. Yeah, either I was aiming too low, or it just didn't work. But either way, it's really not that tough to deal with this helmet. Just make your way over to the cars here on the right, and then you can move forward.
Moving! God damn it! Taking heavy fire!
And just like that, everything's quiet again. I think they make sure everything gets very quiet after each combat section, just to make it seem a lot more eerie. Like a lot of people, or I don't know if it's a lot, but people did complain about this game, and somewhat rightfully so, but I do think they were really trying to make you feel very uncomfortable.
That's all of them. Come on, we're almost there. You boys secured the trucks. I'll round up what's left of my men. See you inside.
It should be apparent by now, but Spec Ops: The Line is more of a horror game than a modern war shooter.
Trust him. Neither do I. But right now, Riggs and his men are the only people not trying to kill us.
Like, it even has...
Think about who you're helping, Captain. Without water, everyone in this city will die. Your men included. Riggs isn't looking to save anyone. He's here to bury the truth, along with the bodies.
Like, it has the brutal...
Yes, sir.
We got insurgents gathering out front. Stay back and keep watch while we deal with them.
They don't know we're here. Ghost these fuckers.
Like, it's got the brutal imagery, survival horror elements, such as limited ammunition, constantly having to pick up new guns. But that's about it, really. It's nowhere close to Silent Hill. Anyway, we got another stealth section here, but... it's not a full-fledged stealth part. Like, I think after you get down this... or after this, you get past the top floor, you're pretty much caught no matter what. And then, unlike in The Last of Us, your NPC companions can get caught. I don't know how I feel about the AI completely ignoring your NPC help in The Last of Us. Granted, I didn't actually play The Last of Us that much. Been thinking I should probably go back and give it a shot. There I go again, filling commentary with one game about another game. Well, that and a psychology experiment. But the psychology experiment was relevant. Oh, speaking of psychology, I believe the Milgram experiment was conducted after World War II, or I don't know if it was immediately after, but I think it was a response to a lot of the German soldiers who got put on trial for the atrocities committed during the Holocaust. A lot of them said they were just following orders, and the judge said that's not good enough, and then they got them charged with all their crimes. So they conducted the Milgram experiment to see if I was just following orders is actually a valid defense, and it turns out it was. Like, all the people who participated, I think I already said it, but just in case, all the people who participated, they continued to shock the person in the other room well past the point where it would have killed them. And only a very small number of people refused to continue shocking them even when given orders after a while. Like, they were all completely uncomfortable, but they did it when they were told, no, it's fine, keep going.
Got him!
Or something to that effect. So,
Enemy swarming in from the pool. Take 'em out.
so you're really not a bad person for following the objectives in a video game.
Got a shotgunner on
But they did want you to really think about the choices you actually make in video games. Like, for example, in Skyrim, I love to be a sneaky, stealthy type character.
That's our only way out of here.
But, and then to train my sneak stat, I would often try to stealth kill all the random people you run into on the
Take over
roads.
tonight. Headed our way.
Oh, where's that guy? There he is. I'd end up stealth killing them to train my sneak skill, so I'd essentially end up playing a serial killer every time I played stealth on Skyrim. And it really never, I never really thought about the repercussions of playing that way, of just how much I was screwing up that virtual world and how many people's lives I was ruining in Skyrim. Granted, it is just a virtual world, but still, I haven't been able to play Skyrim the same way since, even when I'm trying to be all stealthy.
Enemy close. Look out.
Got the fucker!
That's another.
Oh, thank you, Lugo. One other complaint I've heard is that Spec Ops doesn't hold up anymore because it was a commentary on modern war shooters.
Okay, let's take those fucking trucks!
And since modern war shooters have started to fall out of grace, they're not really, Spec Ops isn't really relevant anymore. I'd argue against that, though, and I'll tell you later.
I'll be damned. You're still alive. You want to stay that way? I recommend this. Step lively, people. We're about to bring this city to its knees. See you want to see him.
You want me to shoot him, or would you rather do it yourself?
Get out of this alive, he's all yours.
Kind of casual how they're...
There will be a price for this, Walker. I hope you're prepared to pay it.
They're already planning to kill Rick. Very weird. What was I talking about?
Everyone hold tight. Gonna be a rough ride.
Crap, I forgot.
Got contact. Fire at will.
Anyway, I hate this part. This part sucks. I guess they put it in here to try and liven up, or rather, to point out how a lot of games try and include varying gameplay elements just to keep your interest. Maybe. But they could have just done it for that basic reason rather than trying to point it out. And I remembered what I was saying earlier. Yeah, Spec Ops wasn't meant to be a commentary. It wasn't meant to be just a commentary or criticism of just the modern warfare genre. It was meant to make you think about all the video games you play. Like, the much more apt comparison would probably be Uncharted, especially considering that they have the main characters have the same voice actor. Nathan Drake kills a lot of people in Uncharted, and yet he's not nearly as affected by it as much as Walker is. And I guess they wanted you to try and think about just how psychotic someone like Nathan Drake would be if they were actually real. Considering he ends so many lives, and yet he's the exact same person, start to finish.
There will be a price, Walker.
Sorry, boys, but they ain't getting this water back. No matter. These
Or, I don't know if that's actually true if Nathan Drake had never played Uncharted.
In 4 days, this city will begin dying of thirst. Just like Riggs wanted. This is your fault, Walker. You did this, not me.
Where did Conrad go? How did he get there? Why didn't he finish us off? What happened to my sleeves? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call that an episode here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.